It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Acee, BK, Truth, Rick Star, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
To the Real Word Season 7 Episode 14. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to everybody that's helped us to get this far so far. Shout out to everyone that has been supporting us throughout the entire season. We on the 15th episode of the season. Shout out to all the people that has been supporting all our drives, all our giveaways. We having a turkey drive coming up next month and a coat drive, so we've combined the two drives together. So shout out to also Goes Off the Field, our partners doing this drive, and shout out to everybody that has supported us so far thus far. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself.
You already know it's the one and only AI in the building. I'm your Instagram, A711. If you ain't know 11, you already know, hey, me, I got my T. Or watch out for, Zero Enterprise hoodies coming out this November, cop up. I know you like the drip, so cop up.
Alright, and we got a familiar face in the building. Introduce yourself.
Your friend Jaquan, one and only Tipsy God.
Alright. And we got another familiar face, but you guys probably haven't seen him in a couple of seasons, but he's familiar to the platform. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's up, y'all? It's Be Radical Genius. I'm here as the artist, you know what I'm saying? But you know me as Jet, Mr. Jet, you know what I'm saying? AKA Jet Black 40.
Alright, and we got a special guest in the building, a new face. Introduce yourself, brother.
Known as him, call me Noble. Instagram, Za'Aire, Bzaire. What's up?
Alright. So we thank you all for being here with us today. We thank you all for joining us tonight. Shout out to the Brick Network. We're on the Brick Network every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m., 12 noon and 1 a.m. We also on Spodify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Pandora. You can also catch us on YouTube at The Real Word TV on YouTube, The Real Word TV on YouTube, one word. Also catch us on Facebook at The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Facebook, The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Facebook.com/The Real Word 7, the number 7 like Mike Vick, or also on Instagram at The Real Word Ministries Inc. So catch us everywhere and anywhere. So this is a new look for you, Mr. B Radical. So let's just explain to the people the way you explained it to me.
So basically, the title of the album is called Modern Day Maharaja. And for those that don't know, in India they had the Mughal people, or the Mughal Empire, which is basically Moors. They were called Maharajas when they were rulers over there. And basically the whole album was kind of, based off of a Moor, us so-called black Americans in America, and trying to figure out, who we are. And I just felt like this was the drip that kind of was synonymous to, what the message was, what I was trying to go across. So yeah, that's what it is.
I think that.
Yeah, this is a Pashmina, and then this is I really don't know what this is called. I'm not going to lie, but this is Maharaja drip. Just know that.
So what's been the reaction from the people?
That's funny you said that. I was just telling my boy Za'Aire too. People that know me around the neighborhood, like, it be regular, saying, they be like, yo, Jet, what up? It's not like, yo, Jet, what you wearing? You know what I'm saying? They already know, what type of time I'm on. But if you don't know me, you're gonna look at me like, the fuck, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be kind of like weirded out and be like, what the hell this nigga wearing? But then when you hear me speak, you're like, oh shit, that's a brother. and I think that's another twist to it too. Like, but you know what's funny though? A lot of the so I'm gonna just say this: the Slavies, the European, right? They treat me with utmost respect though. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm in this drip, I had a lady come to me and she was like, oh, I had the fez on. And she was like, oh my God, I haven't seen somebody wear the fez in so long. And you know what I'm saying? But she was so like warm-hearted and she was like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like an awe to her. So it was really like novelty and you know, elitism to her. And then like you got the reactions from the people that do know, like the ox and stuff. Like some of them, they cool. Like you'll get the double take. Like they'll look at you and they'll look at you again, cause they know, they know what's up. Yeah. So like for instance, it's another thing. Like I was just in the store, and this is one dude here hated. Like I ain't got nothing against him. You know what I'm saying? I think he had a little interaction with my bro one day, and he just started hating on me. But I was cool up with him one day. But I see him, he always talking Arabic, and I'll be like, yo, bro, like. I know you saying some wild stuff, and like I'm telling you, bro, like we the masters of that. We the Kufic speakers. We the ancient Arabics. You know what I'm saying? So watch your mouth, and it's real. Like cause I don't mean to be long winded, but
no, go ahead. I want to hear.
When I say I'm royal, I mean like we all royal in here, like cause we son of Moors first off, right?
Speak on it.
And actually, like you know, I was on my Egyptian stuff, cause you see the brand, the Egyptian brand, 10 to the 6. And I was just trying to figure out who he was, right?
So
I didn't even know I had this. Yeah, that's the brand.
So
I was just well, that's the clothing brand, but and that message actually means infinity. But long story short, I'm trying to figure out who we were, and I basically narrowed it down to who we are as Moors and all the derivatives from that as Moabites, Mozabites, and then not even only that, but I found out the true meaning of my name and where it comes from. It comes from ancient France, and it comes from like the tribe of Yehuda, Isaac's oldest son and whatnot. And basically, my ancient tribe is the Andakabi tribe. That if you look on the map in ancient France, that's ancient Amorica. You know what I'm saying? Hence the name America. So that's the ancient Amoricans. So it's like I come from House of Anjou. And my name is from the House of Anjou. So I know exactly where my name comes from. So if somebody see me in the street and they try to be like, yo, bro, what up? I don't really subscribe to everything. But I do know who I am. And I can't tell you that I got a slave name, because we don't. You know, this whole story we was told, like, yo, we got slave names. Jeddah is not a slave name. Jete is not a slave name. So I found out the ancient keys, and, you know, it's House of Anjou.
Do you ever feel at any point that the knowledge that you're finding out now conflicts with the knowledge that you had beforehand?
Nah, it actually goes all hand in hand. Like even with the Egyptian stuff, cause so my birthday is September 26th, and you know, in everybody's world, right? You're supposed to feel like you're the chosen one. So I kind of found that out in my story. Like there's an ancient tribe called the Etruscans, and the Etruscans basically. They like kind of related to the ancient Egyptians. So all of this stuff kind of is intertwining. Like the more I go deeper into it, the more we figure out that the so-called Egyptians was just not only in Egypt, but like in Libya, in Jerusalem, in the Mediterranean. All these people had a one world type of thinking.
I think there's a part in the Bible, and I hate to reference it. Like I'm not trying to force religion upon anybody. I'm just making the reference.
That's good.
Because I know some people get offended when I do. At one point, Paul, when Paul was on the run and then he went to Egypt, and then there was like, and then for those that don't know, Paul also had Greek citizenship. He had Roman citizenship. That's where the name Paul and Saul comes from. One was his Jewish name, one was his Greek or Roman name.
Okay.
So when they said, look at this Egyptian speaking Greek, it was basically like them saying, look at this Negro speaking this language. They laugh at him. In the Bible, you see multiple times whenever there's conflict, they go back to Egypt. Like Jesus, for example, Moses went back and forth. And then we see Paul does it too. So it's almost like they would have to match it, and they basically saying that at one point the whole continent was called Egypt. So, you know.
But what about looking at it this way?
Mm.
You from Haiti, I'm from Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish, but so-called it's the same country.
Mm-hmm.
One country speaks Spanish, one country speaks Creole.
And it's still conflict.
You know, but what I'm saying is that's like somebody like me coming to Haiti and you be like, yo, but be speaking Spanish. Like you from DR speaking Spanish. So like that's kind of what I like to do. I like to put it in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like think like, cause a lot of the stories of the ancient like Bible and all that, like it's really talking about us.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
And you know what I'm saying, Maori people. So, but that's what I just wanted to get. I don't mean to interject, but I heard some story right where I was reading up and listening to some people too, and it was saying something about Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Was because just to reiterate about Paul was the one that actually put like the Slavies on, and not just the Slavies, but just putting people on and teaching the word of God and letting people become Catholics or Christians, right? And
in a sense he did, because he went on many pilgrimages and spreading the word in places that others wouldn't go. So,
but this is what I just wanted to bring up. I can't remember the name, but I think it was Jesus's brother. And this is the story, like, because I ain't going to say this is real, but I'm just saying this is ancient griot talk. So the story is that Jesus' brother was telling Paul, like, yo, you putting people on and they eating pork. So I'm only saying that because we think Jesus was Christian or Catholic, but then his brother was getting mad at Paul for putting people on that eat pork.
Oh yeah, the Gentiles.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to get to is,
Gentiles.
Let's just think about it in real time. So that means that whatever religion or whatever way of thinking that Jesus was on, they wasn't eating pork. Mm-hmm. And if we think about if his mom is an Israelite, then he believed in Yahweh. No, his father was an Israelite, right? Believe in Yahweh, and his mother is a Moabite. He gonna believe in Chemosh. I don't know if you ever heard of Chemosh, but that's like the synonymous version of Yahweh in the Moabite type of culture. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that to say they was probably on some Islamism because they wasn't eating pork.
Mm.
So I just wanted to reiterate on your story.
Yeah, but in the Torah they said not to eat pork, and those were the laws given to Moses. So they've been on no swine, because that was the biggest conflict. They kept saying that basically they were accusing Jesus of trying to get rid of the law according to the law of Moses in the Torah, but he kept saying, nah, I'm not trying to get rid of the law. I'm just trying to show the love.
Okay. That's that same thing I'm trying to do, man. I'm just trying to show the love and show the truth. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he was trying to get on a subliminal tip.
So you're new to the platform. I want to hear more from you because you're quiet right now. So what do you think about this conversation, or how does it relate to you? You feel like?
In terms of like B story, or in terms of like, or just in terms of how Moors and how the Christianity and religion and all that relates to me.
Yeah, like how does it make you feel?
I don't feel away. I feel like I had when I first learned about like who we are as a people, and that we all are slaves, and that whole teaching. Like I broke down, I cried, because I was just like, I learned the whole paper trail of everything, and that shit really broke me down. But today, honestly, I'm kind of like I won't say indifferent, but like I said, I know where I come from now, so it's like I walk around with a different step. Like I take in the information a little bit differently now. Like, you know, it's kind of like, and it's not like what you learn in school and stuff that's a lie. It's that everything is told in different pieces, and it's told in reverse at that. So you're playing Tetris, so to speak. You're playing with a lot of puzzles. So when you learn like what really happened in its duration, it's like, oh shit, like everything makes sense. So like I said, now I'm kind of like growing up and dealing with that information probably for the last like 7-8 years. I kind of look at things a little different now. Kind of humble me too, to be honest with you.
What about you, Ace? You cut?
For me, like, how was it for me? I mean, I say Yeah, I mean, wait, what was the question again? Wait, what was the question before I started saying anything?
Going to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Now, like, how you feel about, like, just the history that we just discussed about the different changes that the people went through, people telling their different variations of the story, basically. It's like everybody's telling it from how they saw it and how it made them feel. It's like all of us sit in a room right now, right? We having this conversation. We all probably coming at it from different angles and coming from different backgrounds. But not to say that we're right or wrong. Like, we're all going to be right to us because that's what we believe.
Choosing how to
Well,
believe.
you know, for me, you know, like, you know, growing up, you know, I wasn't really, you know, we all know religion and stuff. You know, I would say, you know, yeah, I was a Christian, but, you know, as I really, because, you know, most people, you don't really find, you know, God in church, because, you know, to me, I think the devil is, where the devil is at the most is in the church. As much as people, you know, go over to church, be feeling all this comfort, like, nah, brother.
Why say that?
Why I say that? Because, you know, like, bro, I've been in the church since I was like 8 years old. Like, I seen a lot of sightsee stuff. But, you know, back when I was younger, you know, I wasn't really a church dude. You know, I was more, you know, like, I'm just gonna say I wasn't a church dude. I wasn't really a church dude. Yeah, I went, but
That's like family, though.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
understandable.
like, you know,
grew up in it. Like,
I grew up in it,
Yeah.
but you know, I ain't really. It wasn't really my thing. But I, you know, from street and church, you know, this I because I really was. I was in the, you know, I was playing the street part too. I'm not in front. So from looking at the street and the church, I didn't really see no much different. What I would say for me, what I learned is that, like, I'd rather trust a street dude more than, you know, somebody with just a suit and tie up in the church over here talking all this. Because the difference is like the street dude, like, I already know what he about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I already know all the ins and outs and all that. But, you know, a person that just said, just, you know, just yap all day is like, you know, like, you don't really know what they about.
Force you to pivot. How do I move?
Yeah, you be like, huh?
I get you. Yeah.
Like, you trying to figure, like, what because I know the one thing, you know, everybody love to, you know, use the word God, you know, but a lot of people, you know, they use it in their own way.
Use it in vain, but
yeah, you know, they use it in vain, you know, just to, you know, basically for the money.
Suit their needs.
Yeah, suit their needs. So, you know, for me, like, as me getting woke, like, learning all this, you know, probably like, what, year 3 for me. Yeah, it is different from thinking. Like, you don't really think the same no more. Like, you really don't. Like, all them K-12 stuff, like, I've been through those knowledges out the book. Like, whole Christopher Columbus, all the other stuff. Like, throw all that out the book. Because it's like, they literally indoctrinating us as we speak today. And when we have kids, what we going to do? We send them to school, and then what they doing? Indoctrinating kids. And you got to... As a parent, you gotta. It's literally like two people teaching. You gotta teach them their true history.
Yeah, you gotta teach your kids yourself.
Yeah, that's why you gotta do it. That's why you do it yourself.
But you know, you gotta start it at a young age.
Exactly, you gotta tell them when they're young and let them know.
But they already set up the traps real well. Most of the time, most people work at 2 jobs and all that, so you don't really got the time.
Sometimes you could put little things in front of them though, like
but
my
everybody
pops.
can't look.
Yeah, my pops used to put globes though in front of me.
Yeah,
like,
true.
So
but
that's why I'm looking at the
parents
maps
is
and stuff.
different because
people don't know what they don't know, but like that.
Exactly. But people don't know what to do.
If some people don't put the extra effort to try to realize that too. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, most people, you know, is controlled by the TV today.
If it's not outside your bubble, you're not gonna subscribe to. You're not gonna see it.
Most people watching TV, and then based off the TV, that's the perception or the reality that they think is the real world. When we all know TV is entertainment, and entertainment is.
But that's why it's up to us too, where we have to start creating these new type of schools and these new type of programs that have a different type of perspective.
We don't do that though.
I mean, but that's the type of thinking though. We can't think like that. We got to think like, all right, let me just do it like this. Let me put this, because we can't really promote that negativity. We got to promote like, yo, this is what's gonna happen, and this is what we got to do. Don't even promote like, but that's not what we do, because we know what we don't do.
It takes a collective group, bro. Cause look, the best example I can use is like why we ain't gonna do it is cause like look, we got the iPhone 12 or 13 Pro Max. That's like probably like $1,500, right? Everybody, a lot of black people got that, right? But that same price, you could get you could start up your own business. And so basically, like everybody complain about, oh, we don't do this, oh, we ain't got it, but
You got a new iPhone every year,
you
don't you?
got a new iPhone every year, so you literally could have had a new company
Alright, but
every year if you really wanted it.
It's the mind state. For instance, like we keeping ourselves in our own spells. For instance, if we just be like, yo, if we just talk about it and we just be like, yo, bro, you know that the black Americans just in the United States is the 3rd richest people in the world, and that's facts. You know what I'm saying? But we just misdirect our money, like you said. But if we just hear this a lot and we be like, wait, we the richest, and then we start understanding like, yeah, nah, of course we the richest. That's why niggas always got dope ass fucking clothes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Cars, whatever.
They just rob.
But then we gonna start elevating. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's just about the discussion.
Once we understand how much into the economy we put in, I think, don't quote my numbers, but I think we put in like 86% into the daily economy. Like, so if we black,
into the white people too.
If black people, if we pull the black dollar out of the economy, that shit.
There is no economy,
We trillions.
One thing that I've realized that we lost from back then to now, and a lot of people haven't realized, is that back then, yeah, they were protesting, yeah, they were rioting at times and burning things down, but one thing that they were doing that we're not doing now is boycotting.
Yes.
Like hitting them where it hurts, and that's their pockets, you know?
Just talk about that today.
Like, we're screaming, like we're yelling, we're breaking things, but we're not asking for nothing, and we're not stopping nothing either. We still giving them our dollar. So
every day,
what is really changing?
You don't see desist
because the music. So I was in the car, and the whole verse was just mad different brands, all these different foreign so-called designers and whatnot. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, this is what we doing now. This is what's hot. You get what I'm saying? This is the substance, and we keep hearing this. We keep promoting it. So that's what we keep doing.
It's promotional. I mean, when it comes to the name brands,
everything's promotion.
Consistency is key, though.
When it comes to the brand, though, like I feel like it's more like this. Like it's like this, right? If you can, when it comes to like branding and anything that involves money, I just basically say like, if you can't live the same life before, then, but you can't live the same life after, then don't get it at all. So that's just how I feel like. So like, if somebody get a $50,000 car, but they got like $1 billion, they can do that.
Yeah, of course.
It's because like,
of course,
their life is gonna live the same after. Now, for the people that barely got it like that, and they just over here just getting things, and it just, because most black people, they just be like, I'm going to spend it and I'll figure it out later. With no backup plan. That's why most black people, they just feel, because like they just spend it. They be like, yo,
I've thought out plan A.
What's promoted in the music? Spending now because you ain't gonna live later, or do it's
all
all this shit like cashing out now, but
they
don't tell you
live once.
Yeah, you only live once, right? But they not telling you, yo, you only live once, so try to not have any debt for your family when you out of here, or try to leave something for your posterity when you go.
Invest in property.
You know what I'm saying?
Start your business.
Businesses, like life insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the hustle that they've been doing, and it's all legal, right?
I can't knock their hustle, because I mean,
but this is all legal. No, it's not falling for it. This is all legal loopholes. This is all legal things you're supposed to do.
There's things that's legal, but it's illegal. And for common sense, we would know certain things that's legal, that's illegal.
It's only illegal when you don't know how to do your paperwork.
Facts. I was just wondering.
You know what I'm saying?
It's only a crime if you get caught.
Yeah. and you know what I'm saying? So if you don't know how to do your paperwork,
what could they say?
Yeah, and then just think about it. Like, see, I don't even know, like, why it's so hard to like just think a little bit with logistics. Like all the mafias, and I ain't trying to come at nobody, and I'm sorry to be promoting this, but all those like you seen gangs in New York?
Exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah, all of the Irish, the Jews, they were gangs, they were gangsters, they were mafias, and then now they assimilated into
society.
Listen,
nah, I know exactly.
those same mafias,
with the mafia.
the same, they all the same because they all come from the same people. Now, when you think about it, right, those people came with the fuckery, the violence, and then now they assimilated with all the businesses.
Word.
And now they legit businessmen.
And own everything.
They own all the NYPD, the FN, you know what I'm saying? FBY, all that. So yeah, so I'm not really coming at anybody. I'm just letting you know, like, you know, I'm just speaking truth. You know what I'm saying? It's just truth. It's not like saying like, yo, we speaking some secret society stuff. We just saying, yo, this is just regular stuff.
Nah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't saying no names. We ain't saying. We just like, yo, there's organizations like Triad.
No name dropping.
Facts, you know, Triads. There's different organizations that are known. Like you know what I'm saying? Cartels. Like, come on, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just about how you move with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen, I don't know all the other stuff, but I ain't subscribing to none of these either, and I ain't really putting nothing on blast, but I'm just saying, we have to understand that businesses evolve, and people evolve, and we the only ones that's not really evolving.
We're not evolving.
That's just
we're
it.
too busy.
We too being distracted. We telling each other that, yo, we ain't got none of those. Let's spend more, or let's just do this, and then it's like that's the distraction.
We thinking for the weekend, not for 3 years later.
Exactly. We just need to.
What's the weekend? What's the weekend facts? And you don't hear nobody. Most black people they don't tell you, yo, what we trying to do for 3 years down the line. Now they be like, yo, what's the
5-year plan, 3-year plan?
Or even they be like, what's the word this week?
Or even the plan. Or even the plan is to be like, yo, if we know this is our lifestyle, what could we do that could help alleviate this stuff, and it won't even come out of our pockets. Like, you know, you saying like people like designers and all this different stuff. You know, there's credit. There's certain things that we could do that, yo, we could leverage, and then we like, yo, it's not really coming out of my pocket. Like, what's the dude that the dude credit and stuff like that?
It's different. If you sponsor, you ain't nothing really.
I mean, all you gotta do is, you know, get a security card, get, you know, work for a certain amount of time, stay disciplined. And then get your shit right, and then, you know, start leveraging yourself. Start making businesses, start
build your credit.
Flipping, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody thinking flipping is just hustling. Like, you could take credit and flip credit. Yeah. You could take money in dollars and flip it from a real, you know what I'm saying, a real business.
If you could flip credit, you're a genius.
Facts, you could. There's many people like Will Roundtree that talk about credit and all that. He's like, yo, he started with $5,000. Paid into Jay Morrison program. From there, they did they got all, you know what I'm saying, his information with real estate. Then he did his credit, $5,000 of credit. Now he caking. He flipped it. So it's possible.
What you think about all this, Saquon?
Well, to go back to the first question. I agree. I was agreeing with everything you were saying about the Moabites and how. Wait, what were you talking? You were talking about how does the spiritual, how does the knowledge you know now, come in convenience with the indoctrination that we were taught? And for me, like the K through 12 stuff, yeah, I was taught it, but then after K through 12, I got some real knowledge from people who are all Moors. Like, we all are Moors, but they are also Moors, and then they just opened up my eyes to everything, all the things you were saying. Like, I was learning that, and I just basically, like he said, like, once you get that knowledge, you kind of have a different step in how you move. Like, you kind of see the things that you used to see, now you see through them. So like, that's for the first.
A TV don't look like a regular TV.
And for the second part, which was what were we just not talking about?
What were you guys just not talking about?
I don't know. I think you were saying how it brings it to contemporary times.
Yeah, it's about like flipping credit and
flipping credit. Oh, no, that was a tangent. That was a whole tangent.
Yeah, that's a fact.
To get off of flipping talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I was saying like it's really about promoting what's what we should be doing. But
Right.
this is a map right here. It's called the distribution of the barbarous tribes. Now that's all the Indians. That's Algonquin, there's Iroquois, there's Natchez, and then you see in between it you got the Seminole, the Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee.
The Algonquins.
You ever heard
big
of
in New York?
the Trail of a Thousand Tears or
The Trail of Tears. That's I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah,
Definitely heard of it.
They said that they made them walk from Miami all the way up to the middle.
So to bring all the Moabites and all the different stuff in contemporary times, this is the distribution of the barbarous tribes of the eastern Mississippi, right? You see all the Indian people, Creeks, Ottawa, what is it, Yamasee? Yamasee, you know what I'm saying? You got the Mohegans, you got all of these. These is all Indians, but they saying this is the barbarous tribes. All right, to get back to what you were saying.
The barbarous tribes? What do you mean by that?
The barbarous tribes. All right, so if you look in where it's saying Algeria, Libya, and Morocco and all that, and Tunisia, right? We're in Africa. That's the Barbary Coast. That ancient name is Numidia, but long story short, that's the Barbary Coast. These are the Barbary tribes.
So,
what
they
does
went
that
straight
mean?
across.
No, what I'm saying is that they didn't even have to be across, because remember, it was all connected.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is West Africa.
So they say.
No, so it is. This is Almoricanos. We just got conquered, and now it turned to the United States. But back to the Trail of Tears, those dudes, they went, those 5 civilized tribes, I'm gonna say the dudes. The 5 civilized tribes, they moved to Oklahoma. They made
Trail of Tears.
Yeah, so they made Black Wall Street. So when you wanna, there's a picture that says Little Africa is on fire from Black Wall Street. And why would they say Little Africa's on fire?
Wakanda.
I'm gonna bring it back to that too. But
Well, why would they say Little Africa in Oklahoma?
Yeah, because
Maybe
because of
the
Oklahoma
United States
City.
is Africa?
Nah, they was basically saying this was a black city that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
burned,
yeah.
right? All right, so they saying it's Africa. Okay, it's Little Africa. Barbarous people, that's in Africa. Barbarous tribes, that's over here. So what I'm trying to say is that how we connected today is the Moorish Americans, or the so-called Moors or Moabites or Moriscos, or whatever type of language you want to call it.
Or Maroons.
Or Maroons, or in the Philippines, the Moros. There you go. So every ancient people is the Moors, and that's the real truth. Now, it don't matter if there was a certain tribe, but to the whole world of outside of us, we was Moabite.
That's a fact.
And we all come from the ancient people. That's why we look the way we look. We have the certain hair type. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have to understand that.
See, the talks of the Moors is something that I've been around my whole life. Because I'm Jamaican, right? And in Jamaica, there's this place called a compound town where the Maroons live, and they govern themselves. And you know. So
When you been there in Jamaica?
no, you can't even. You need special privilege to even enter a compound town. You can't just walk.
They're
up.
an autonomous government.
Don't. You can't.
That
just
means
walk
they
up.
run their own shit.
like
Besides what the government do, and the government
But
got to
all
ask them
Moors
for whatever they doing.
Technically,
They
should
land.
be running their own thing. Technically,
That's what we supposed to do.
So that's the
as
fight, really.
knowing our nation.
exactly. Now
Or
that's the
claiming
real
yourself
fight.
as a
I
nation.
mean, most people, I mean, like, they enslaved themselves into American society, though.
Now,
right?
once you understand that you have to get rid of your X-rail, then you'll be
It's a lot to it too,
Yes,
man.
it's
like,
deep.
yeah, like, but to go back to what he said with Wakanda, right? So Stan Lee, and you could look on Google Maps and stuff, right? When you see Oklahoma, you're gonna see the 5 nations. That's the Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, and Chickasaw.
You said Chickasaw.
And then
Chickasaw, Cherokee.
then the Seminole. Sorry.
Yeah.
So all of these people, they got a nation in there. It's 5 nations. In the story of Wakanda, what was it? It was 5 tribes. So Stan Lee didn't go to Africa to get his knowledge. He went to Africa, West Africa, the Al-Maghrib, which is the farthest west is over here, Almoricanos. And he actually went on the west side of East Mississippi, right? So, I mean, the Mississippi. So he was in basically Wakanda. And if you go back to the Omaha or the Omaha and the Osage and the Ponca tribes, look up Wakanda on your phone, that's what it goes back to. And Wakanda is basically the spirit of God. It's like it's like what we think of the Most High. And that's Wakanda. It's in everybody. It's in everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's where he got the story of Wakanda. It's right there in America, not in Africa. And we the true, you know what I'm saying, first civilization and the first civilizers of the world. Civilization started over here in America, and then it went to Africa.
But
we get it
us
the other way around. Yeah, we get it the way where Africa, we hear the story of Africa spreading out, but we don't hear about the story of the Americas. And not even when it was like that, it was all connected, so we could just walk across. That's why, what's the movie, Lord of the Rings? They always showing them walking across everywhere. The world was all connected. So they was walking on one side of the world to the other. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's how technology was advanced. So.
That's how we Africans, like, all right, so I had a Dominican. I'm Dominican. I was born there. I don't speak Spanish, but I was born there, right? And I'm half Moreno, what they say, right? But this is what I told him. He was like, yo, Jet, where you from? I was like, I think I was wearing my turban too, my pashmina. He said, where you from? Matter of fact, I was wearing a fez, and I was like, I'm Moorish American, right? And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, I'm Moorish American. And he was like, what is that? And I was like, that's Moreno. So he's like, oh, so you African American? And I was like, no, I'm Moorish American. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, that's the real name for it. But you was told it's African. So you see how they changed more to African. But there's a country, see, how we call the continent. So you got to go deeper. There was actually in Tunisia, ancient Tunisia, when it got conquered by the Romans, it was called Africa. And that's where they started the name Africans. So that was the first country of Africa. So if you want to think about it, the original people that were Africans was the people from there. And that's who we are. And if you go back to the ancient name, what are they? Carthaginians. So we are Carthaginian American in a sense. The Carthaginians connect to the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians is ancient Canaanite and Moabites. So the bloodline is deep, man. That's how we connect it all together. It all connects.
So what y'all think happened for the world to be switched upside down?
Gentiles. No.
Facts. Yeah, the Gentiles came through.
That's it.
We're just gonna say the code names. Yeah, we talking Moorish science talk. Gentiles came through. They figured out the science. We had people like Paul putting people on. You know what I'm saying? And then they saw the gold. They saw the access to knowledge. They saw the access to wealth. And a lot of the things is like, see, they ain't really mind being, because they slaves. They Slavi.
Yeah.
That's their name. We're not slaves.
But they was tied up the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages is when we was ruling in Europe.
And they was somewhere catching food in cave.
Well, not per se, but they were working like
slaves.
It's just like, for instance, and it's just like this. Like, that's why I try to think about it in real time. It's like if we go into a mall in Pennsylvania, or we go to a mall somewhere, right, where it's so-called white people running it, or even if you go to KP, all the malls is working, but no malls own no business in there. Like, there's probably like a few businesses owned by malls in there, like the actual businesses, but the mall ain't owned by no malls. So in the old world, it was where we ruled and had all these businesses. We had all of these malls, we had all of these stadiums, we had all these, like, that's why they was hating on Black Wall Street. And Black Wall Street happened in the 1920s. That's real early.
Recent.
Yeah, that's real recent. So, but you see what I'm saying? Like, we was in control of stuff, so they had to come and holler at us to work for stuff, or they was actually cool with it. You know what I'm saying? They was cool with assimilating it, and that was feudalism, honestly. We don't know what our ancient governments were and the ancient monarchs were doing. It was all feudalism, and feudalism is moving slaves and whatnot, and slaves is not an indentured servant, we saying, but a slave of the genotype of those people. And then they were actually just working for us.
Genotype.
Yeah, they were working for us.
But it even breaks down slavery in the Bible when it says that, you know, you're supposed to have a slave for a certain amount of time and they're supposed to work for you, but you're still supposed to treat them a certain level of humanity, and then after a while you let them go. If they choose to stay, then you brand them and they become a slave forever.
So what you just told me just now made perfect sense. All right, so basically what you're saying is, as a Moor, us, we have the God-given right to own slaves. Them, Nordics, or whatever you want to call them, Slavies, right? And we have the power to release their so-called enslavement or the feudalism. It's up to us. Or we can brand them and keep them enslaved forever. So technically we never let them out of slavery, because when you see them, they all these different new brands, and they took those brands, but those brands belong to us. English, American, all of these stuff belong to us. European, they're not that.
Yeah, they're not.
So that is our brand, and then they're our brand. So technically what you said is in real time. Like, if we just woke up, we could just claim our brand back. But now, we claim our so-called Slavies back.
But now we're enslaved to their fiat government, and we believe that is to be true, and we cover ourselves with brands that say their names on it, and we become slaves to that.
But that's just because of passiveness. That's just because of laziness. Like, you know, like for instance, just when they started seeing this rioting and stuff, they had to put crack and all that, because they started seeing some emergence of what was back in the day, like Martin Luther King and even before then. And it's just because if these people can organize and they can come together, they're going to start thinking on a higher level sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to need to get money. So if they start doing it in a way where it's not harmful, then they're going to be more dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but it's not even a way to be thinking, like, I think
to fear the Black Messiah?
Yeah, I don't even think it's all that. I think really they want us to wake up. They want us to get them out of debt. They want us to shut shit down. They want us to run our own states. Imagine you go to a state, that state is ran by us. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying real stuff that could happen.
Like Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta technically is like ran by us, but not really ran by us. Like all entertainment and everything. But imagine we took it a step further and was like, yo, let's own the land that we own. Let's own the infrastructures of what controls Atlanta. Let's get the politics. Let's get out. Yeah, let's get our children. For the next 10 years, our children ain't doing music. They're being into politics all in Atlanta, and they're going to control the next, you know what I'm saying, everything like that, and we're going to put our money into that. That's how we do it. It's not about...
That's how the Kennedys did it, right?
That's how everybody do it.
They hustled bootleg and then got their kids into politics and...
Facts. You just got to assimilate into government.
Right.
And that's what really all the so-called lynchings was. The lynchings, I ain't going to say what it is now, but a lot of it was, so if you think about it, like, say for instance when they go into a town and they about to go lynch something, these are politicians, these are judges, these are high people of high officials, right? And they're not just going to kill some random so-called people that just live regular jobs and work regular jobs. They're going to kill so-called people that are in office, in power. So when we think about it, slavery is really the slave, the so-called slave, not us, the slave coming into rise in power and taking back everything, or actually not taking back, but taking control of everything. And you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what we got to start thinking about. And even I saw a little History Channel thing where it was talking about slaves, and their whole story was where the so-called slaves was, they were showing like these so-called white dudes, right? These European dudes or Slavies, they were so-called bandits, and they were helping slaves go to one town to the next, or the next state to the next. Now, why would you have something like that?
To emulate the Underground Railroad?
That was the Underground Railroad. Them moving around and shit was them. That's the Underground Railroad. Them moving around and going to different states and then classifying themselves as $5 Indians and all that. That's the Underground Railroad. And then there's a real railroad system, of course. But when you think about Harriet Tubman, think about her moving slaves. And when they're saying she moved slaves, she talking about them slaves.
Yeah, I heard one theory that Harriet Tubman was a conductor that worked on an actual train in a railroad.
And she's moving the slaves, the Slavic population, so that they can work the mills and work the...
But then when Kanye said it, everybody looked at him like he was crazy.
Nah, like I saw
Kanye
something.
not crazy.
Like I saw something the other day. Like I ain't gonna lie, I like the farm and shit, but I seen certain people in the farm, and I'm like, yo, they look real comfortable in the farm, and I started thinking,
This guy.
real talk. I started thinking in real time. I'm like, yo, they connecting their ancestors to the farm and the field slaves.
Oh, I thought he was about to go somewhere else.
No, I'm talking about not us. I'm talking about them. Like seeing them in farm settings and seeing how they happy in the farm, and like that's what triggered to me.
I thought you was about to go genotype.
Nah, I ain't, you know, I'm not. Listen, I'm not racist. I'm far from racist. I'm here to tell the truth. Actually, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the people that's part of my organization and that's affiliate with me, like, you know what I'm saying? There's different persuasions and whatnot. So it's
how
not
do they
even,
feel about your truth?
They don't feel no way. They understand. Because see, if someone is not trying to understand their truth or they don't want to know, it's because they don't want to know some ugly stuff about them. Or maybe they're scared to figure out the real truth about them. See, when we go back, it don't matter if you go back to ancient Haitian, ancient Dominican, ancient whatnot, we gonna find some legacy. So it's gonna be something that we gonna embrace. And when you go back to them, I don't know if they really embrace what they embrace. 'Cause like when you hear the term of culture vulture, that's when you go back to their history. You know what I'm saying? There was a tribe called Suvis, and like say they're like 1,000 men deep. They will go to, let's say, France or some other place. Say we called it Anjou, or we called it some name, right? Not Anjou. Let's say we called it France. They'll come to France. They'll slaughter the whole town and whatnot.
Rape and pillage, and then they'll classify themselves as the people that they killed. Now, that's culture vulture. If that ain't culture vulture, I don't know what is. You get what I'm saying? So that's in their DNA. And that's what they're mad about. So when you see niggas, you know, trying to be a part of our culture and trying to snatch it from us, that's just what they always been doing. So
Yeah, like I see nowadays, a lot of people are not jocking Eminem, like in no part of the culture. When they say, "Oh, the greatest rappers of all time," they don't count Eminem. It's like they don't really. It's like they're openly saying, "No, we don't really count Eminem in this culture anymore."
I fuck with Eminem.
Fuck with him.
Yeah, that's my dude. I ain't gonna.
I
bash my
get it.
man.
I get it, but he's still.
Yeah,
No, they're not saying that he can't rhyme, and they're not saying that he's not a good rapper.
I think you know why? Because
He's white.
not even that.
It's just
like,
the things he rap about too.
It's like what you
It doesn't-
assimilating, what you bringing to your, like, what's your story? So his story was 8 Mile before. His story was coming from the hood. So everybody that was like basically in the lower class could relate to him. But now that he's on a higher level in almost elitism, like, you got to figure out what connects you. Like I thought he was doing it with Griselda, but you could see it wasn't organic. If it was organic, he should have just waited some time. I'm a Libra too, so he should have just waited some time, not rush no songs with them, just took the time and be like, yo, I'm gonna get on some wave with y'all doing. You know what? I'm gonna bring him to my world, and I'm gonna just try to figure out what my story is, what it is. You know what I'm saying? And he could have came back out with some dope shit with Griselda, and that would have solidified him back into the whole shit.
Boy, that'd be hard.
Yeah, it's just like, he didn't do that. It was more like he was being a hindrance to them, and they had to kind of do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just like he didn't really like assimilate himself properly.
Wait, they had a situation with Shady?
They was down with Shady. They was signed to Shady.
Oh, at first, before they went to rock?
Yeah, they was down with Interscope and stuff like that, and I think and Shady and all that, Griselda. So
I know it was Shady. I
think it was Interscope and all that. I think Westside did that deal. So you know what I'm saying? They had the whole Griselda there. I guess they had a few albums there, but now I think they're free.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah, but it's just I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be long-winded about him.
I fuck with Griselda actually.
Nah, Griselda.
I've been bumping them before they blew up like how they are right now. Like I fuck with them heavy.
Yeah, and then one thing I learned with Griselda too, especially with Conway and all them.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Yeah, Conway.
He that guy.
I can't say who's my favorite because they all
favorite.
got like.
That's true.
I started sitting back and I'm like, yo, they all got like something I like
yeah,
about them.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But they all
Westside
got like,
is
Westside is dope. He got like swag and the art. The art is just down packed. Everything is gonna be good with Westside.
Then he got that drug talk. You know,
yeah, but Conway, one thing he said, he was like, bring them to your world. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing with my music. It's like I'm bringing them to my world. I never changed the script. You know what I'm saying? I say it on the music. You know what I'm saying? And like I was always conscious with my music, but you see as my story goes on, people were growing with me. They growing with my story. They growing with the message. The message got bigger. The message got more complete. And now is here. You know, it's full circle.
I can say that's true from when I first met you to now. I have seen a lot of changes in you, like, you know, both inside and out, obviously. And you said the same thing about me and the same thing about this platform, how there's a lot of changes, and we're always making changes. I think this is an ever-changing world, and we just, like, it literally goes around and around, and if you stand still, like, it might leave you behind. And I feel like music plays a big part of all of our culture and all of our lives, because one thing that we always bring it back to is the music, like the sound of the drum, and the sound of the drum is the sound of the beating heart. And the more the culture changes, the more they see us change, the way we dress, the way we do our hair, the way we behave, the way we even talk, the things that we eat at times, you know, and it affects us a lot. And, you know, you being an artist, I don't know if you're an artist or you're an artist. You produce, yeah. You know, we part of the culture, and I know
soon to be rapper.
It has affected all of us, you know.
That's a fact.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when you're conscious, like, it comes out
It do.
a lot, you know, especially like in your music.
I definitely agree on the music part. I feel like, for me, it's two things that really controls, you know, society right now. It's the music and the TV. Because you go to music, got the sound waves and everything. Because every new music that come out, pay attention very carefully. You start looking on social media, you know, people start to emulate all them things they see.
I mean, that's why, like, when I put out music, like, when I put it out, I try to, like, alter it. You know, I try to, like, convert it to 432 frequency.
Yeah, my boy Black Armor does that.
And just make it, you know, smooth. And also the topics that I sing, I'm very conscious of what I'm saying. Like, I'm not just about to say any and anything, because I know how words is very strong. Like, that shit is real.
Facts.
You could just say something and that thing will really come true.
Words is style.
So imagine putting a song out to the world, like, you're literally singing or whatever, rapping to the world. In the universe of energy, so what you put out there could definitely come back.
Facts. Especially me being in the engineering aspect, like, I see a lot of these dudes, and, you know, I'm like, are you gonna do this? How long are you gonna rap like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I've been rapping for like 10 plus.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I can imagine it changes you. And
just the thinking and like the times of stopping and then trying to be like, yo, I can't stop. I gotta keep doing it. So, like, are you gonna keep doing the drill music, the Brooklyn drill music for 10 years straight? And is it gonna? And if you're gonna do it, like, for instance, like,
are you gonna add anything to it?
Yeah, not even that. Like,
you might need to work with some.
Are you gonna be innovative?
Like, this is what I want to give. This is what I want to give the jewels to the youngins and stuff. Like, especially because I got a studio and stuff. Like, if you getting like 1,000 views, you're getting 2,000 views, if you're getting all these views, right? Like, try to monetize it. Like, get a shirt. Tell them to pay $1 for the record. Do something so that you can kind of convert that and make a conversion, because now you're on these platforms and you're bringing views to these platforms, and if you're not getting any conversion from it, then you're just making money for them. You know what I'm saying? So now, and then also think about it this way, like, and this is why I don't really worry about my views. Like, anybody can talk about views, whatnot. Like, I don't really get too much views, but I got a cult fan base that anytime I drop music, they listening, right? And then also my last headline, I made bread. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm making money as an artist. So I'm not worried about, like, trying to make it or be hot. I'm like, yo, how do we monetize this? How do we, like, I looked at, like, okay, I did a show, I headlined, I made some bread. Dope. Like, I made money off of it. Like, and this is free. This is an unlimited resource. So if you could do this unlimited resource at this time right now, and you hot, and you got a lot of people listening, yo, get a link. Be like, yo, go to my link. Buy a shirt. Tell them, yo, buy this, sell something, sell your video. Go to these platforms that they convert the views from $1 or whatnot. So if it's 2,000 views, you got $2,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's power. That's how we go hit these record labels over the head, and they're gonna be like, how do we tap into this money?
We finesse you.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
So, you try to finesse us, but we finesse you.
Not even finesse them. How about just not dealing with them? How about that?
One person that I've seen do it so much and change so much, and through his change the culture so much, was Kanye West, you know.
And I was talking about that earlier.
And he had everybody wearing pink polos with Louis Vuitton backpacks. And then the next thing you know, he switched to the preppy boy with the cardigans and the Como des Garçons, and then he switched to like the little blinders with the Japanese with the babe, and then he switched up again, suits and dark times, and then he went to the sneakers when he was
haircuts.
Yeah, when he was preppy, he had the Louis Vuitton sneakers. He had the Nike sneakers when he was on the bait and nape, and then he switched to the Yeezys now, and he's all conscious. Then he went into the religion, and then he's mixing it all
He said
in.
about when he jump into a situation, he fully
Commit himself.
Exactly. Commit himself to it when he's selling himself. So it's like it's easy for somebody to buy what you're selling because you're not necessarily selling a product or selling anything. You're just selling you. You're selling your vibe. People want to latch on to your energy. I'm subscribing to you because that's a dope wave. That's fire. I like that. Look cool. Let me jump on it.
Kanye personality is basically the personality. Whatever whatever energy he's surrounded by
Takes on that.
it compresses him and he becomes that energy.
Manifests it.
So I've noticed that about
But he's a master of his energy too because he only puts around things that, especially when he's in album mode, he only puts around things that are conducive to his current fit, to what he's currently on. Like when he was making dark fantasy, niggas can only come up in the people only come in the studio with suits. You couldn't listen to nothing but classical music. Like even now when he made Donda, you had like Sunday service. Everybody had to go to church. You had to do Bible study before every studio session. So he makes people around him capitulate to whatever situation he's on. That's what I like about him.
Subscribes to his religion.
Exactly. He's a master of his own energy.
Not even that, but bring him to his world, like Conway said, because it's like he's the creator, he's the artist. So it's like when you see Leonardo da Vinci, when you see Picasso, it's like when you see they painting, you go into their world for that moment, and then you seeing what they wanted you to be embodied by. You know what I'm saying? And I think another thing too with Kanye, I think he realized the power is his word, and he's like, yo, look at everybody wearing all these different designers and stuff, and then he started realizing like, yo, let me just do this for myself and my own brands, like, or let me see if this is real, or let me show them this is real. Like when he did the deal with Gap, in one night they made $7 million. When does Gap make $7 million in one night, in one day alone?
Because nobody
stopped
Kanye West. Yeah. Kanye West's power is so much that in one day you can make $7 million that no one wears his brand, but now everybody got that jacket.
And we made $1 million a minute, and we made $1 million a minute off emojis.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the level of influence he's on now, and he's realized it, and that's why he's a billionaire.
He taking advantage of it.
He capitalized it off.
He converted the energy into billions.
Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Like even the
he got his own land.
Yeah. Even the transition to the music, like I feel like this is his evolution. You know what I'm saying?
I don't really think he need to be making music anymore. He's just fine. The music he just putting out just to put out right now.
Nah, I think if you go from like an artist, cause like, all right, so he not making music.
Part of him. That's
like
like
He do it because he love it still, but he does. We all know,
but
he's already here. Like,
yeah, but
Yeezy brand alone.
I think he does it for a
he don't need to be rapping like that.
Yeah, but he does it for a specific taste of art.
I forget, Kanye signed a contract. He has to keep making music. I forgot it was he
didn't get out of it.
Yeah, he can't get out of the contract. He didn't get out of it.
He did it.
Nah,
I thought he did.
Nah, he didn't get the contract. He had his touring contract, and he got the. I think it's a tour. It's a publishing contract. He has to keep making albums, some shit like that, like in perpetuity, like so means basically forever.
Forever.
Some dumb shit. So he was trying to get out of that shit, but it's still on.
That's crazy.
He didn't get out of that shit.
Wait, who he signed to for that?
He signed to to a touring company, like a / publishing company. I forgot who was. It was a whole battle during 2019 going into COVID. It's a whole thing. He was trying to
because he was supposed to drop an album that year, but like that was holding it.
He was supposed to drop. It was supposed to be Yandi. He's supposed to have dropped Yandi, and he said nah.
Because he was going through that shit. Yeah.
Remember, he was on tour with. That's when he was on tour for. What was the St. Pablo tour? Was that? Not the tour after that.
After, yeah.
The
Pablo tour
was it the Donda tour? Right?
Nah. Donda, that's right now.
No, it had to be the Sunday service.
The church Sunday service tour. That's what it was.
No, it was before that when he was doing.
It was the Pablo tour when he was walking off stage.
St. Pablo.
Oh,
St. Pablo. When he had to be hospitalized and all that.
Oh, okay.
That tour.
That was when all that stuff like. When he was like, yo, that's why you got to keep doing tours every couple years, keep putting out albums, like
that's crazy.
Because you could see when he, from the drop off from, you could say, I would say I'd say dark fantasy because when TLOP dropped, it was you can see the kind of uninspiredness and the how everything is unfinished and everything is all over the place now versus the cohesion he had in the past and like the direction. You can kind of see it because his heart is not fully in it. It's only because he kind of has to.
But I feel like Donda was a good album.
Donda was a good album.
The best album.
Re-inspired. It was a re-inspired album.
Lovable.
To me.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was certified lovable.
I think
different moods at different times.
Yeah, I was about to say different moods. Yeah.
I think it's a better album as far as put together and,
cohesiveness.
Yeah, not even cohesiveness, but just a little bit. But like as far as not even that. It's like I think the whole
sonic
culmination of it, sonically too.
Yeah.
That's the best mix album out.
Sonically,
versions
best
of
mix
it.
album out.
Yeah, the whole thing.
But CLB is dope as shit.
CLB, I feel like was a safe album.
I think what
very
they
safe.
Yeah.
is they stuck to
I
the
think
script.
he purposely put that out just to like. I think he purposely put that out just to put out another album that's gonna be better than that.
Nah, I think what it is that he's sticking to the script.
Yeah.
And if you like it, you like it. If you don't,
yeah,
you don't.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm
because
Drake.
I feel like this. The reason why I'm kind of upset about CLB because like my brother, he said this too, which made sense. The imagery didn't fit with the Sonics. And the name didn't fit the Sonics. Certified Lover Boy, all like
That's
everything he was putting out. The imagery was gonna be crazy.
That's why it hit because
y'all both
because it's supposed to be
like
like okay, this the singing dude or whatever, but then it's like okay, I got a lot of rapping songs on here, and then I got some dope songs on here.
I don't mind that. It's just the Sonics didn't give me.
I know exactly what you mean.
So did Donda match everything that Kanye was doing?
But I'll tell you this much: their first leak of Donda, I heard it before, like months before the album dropped, way better than the actual album.
Nah, I don't think so. I think after hearing the whole album together, all the leaks they were done for a reason.
Give me
like,
Donda.
You know what I'm saying? He was sitting there for a minute and then he had to just find it. That's why I was saying like it was meticulous with that Donda. It wasn't. I think it was ritualistically too, in a good way, because his mom's name is Donda. The heartbeat was in the Donda thing. You know what I'm saying? I think.
And the first song, they chatting the mother's name, trying to bring her back to life.
He brought it back to life by speaking about her.
He did.
The album name is her name.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about it.
It's the biggest album. That's the last heartbeat.
I listen to the Donda album like every day, man.
What I'm saying is like, for instance, when you talk about Jesus, right? But when you talk about like Tupac or Biggie, like the real thing, the real essence is, if you keep talking about these people, they still live on.
Yeah, legacy.
Yeah, but not even just legacy, but their actual energy.
Yeah.
We going into metaphysics and stuff, right? So if we talking about Pac, we talking about Biggie, they still here. If we talking about any loved ones that we don't have anymore, they still here. So I just say that to say he did it on the grand scale. Like, yo, I put it out. This is the album. Boom. This like so. My album, I finished it on the 15th. I didn't put it out on the 15th, but I finished it on the 15th. Kind of like doing what Kanye did, but I did it for my pops. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this because this is his birthday. I'm gonna have the album done. Ritualistically, I'm bringing his spirit on some. I'm Moorish. I'm son of Moor. Boom. Like I got this history knowledge from him. He was a history teacher. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like it all went all together. So, and if you ain't doing it with purpose, why are you doing it? So everything, like any spell or any type of magic, because when we going back to magic, is Heka, right? Anything is done with intent. If you was to make this water bottle, what you making this water bottle for? A good thing or bad thing? To hold the water, it's a good thing. Get what I'm saying? So it's the intent of what you put into the so-called magic that makes it bad or good. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, so we at that time. So closing thoughts.
Okay.
Everything in life come with a price. And cop up the hoodies. Zero Enterprise. They coming. I got sweaters too. Sweatshirts. Cop up.
J-Quan.
My closing thought. Today was a good day. I like the conversation today. Oh, and also, I had recently went to Jamaica to get some materials to create this this product with me and my mom. We're 50-50 partners in this business that we got called Rub, and it's for pain. Made with made it ourselves.
Smell good, dude.
And it's for pain, for anything you need, any pain you have in your joints and your muscles.
Okay, let's say like arthritis.
You're just rubbing on your wherever the pain is. And And this is a family.
It's called Rub Rub?
Yeah, it's a family recipe that my grandfather started, and he was doing this. He's actually pretty famous for this in Montego Bay. Like they used to be on TV and stuff, doing all sorts of stuff. And
What type of seeds
I went
are
to
those in there?
Look like Bible
it's pimento. Those are pimento seeds actually.
That's fire.
Yeah, people don't even know that's actually a good thing. But yeah, so
Fire.
I recently came back from Jamaica like a couple of days ago with the ingredients that we use, and we whipped some up, and this is a sample. So
Let me
rub.
Let me know if you can get a hold of Busy.
Oh, that's nothing. Man.
Okay, cool.
I brought back a lot of stuff. I brought back Busy. I brought back this. I brought back Fever Grass. I brought back so much stuff.
Okay.
But yeah,
You brought back the whole island.
facts and some seeds, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but
Pumpkin seeds.
rub. We have a lot in stock. If any pain, holla at me. Got
I
you.
mean, look.
Tell them how to holler at you.
Oh yeah, my Instagram is
Thank you.
JJ Sincere. Just hit me, and yeah, we have plenty of stock, like too much.
Alright.
You got back pain. Your back been blown out.
You just rub it.
Cop up.
See, rub.
Especially if your back been blown out. Cop up.
Closing thought.
Whether it's by work, I don't know.
We got some videos on the way. Modern day Maharaja videos coming through. House of Andrew videos coming through. 10 to the 6, we got some new drip. We came out with the new apparel for summer. It was called don't laugh, it's called the Doo-Doo. And yeah, it's Native American, you know what I'm saying? And then we got new albums coming through. YG's album coming out, Love Wins, coming real soon.
Shout out to YG. The great.
YG.
Yeah,
Your album you said coming?
yeah, album coming out, YG. You can follow him
Yeah.
at YG the Great. You can follow me at Be Radical Genius. Follow our studio page at Jet Force Studios BK. And also our other emerging brand that's coming out, Grander Transportation LLC. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for reliable and safe transportation for your children to get to school, you know what I'm saying, hit us up on granderstransportationllc.com, and you know what I'm saying, sign up, you know what I'm saying. So yeah,
Producer and a day kid.
facts. We do everything. Listen, we business owners. We own the studio. So
Shout out to
yeah,
Jet Force Studios.
Jet Force Studios,
Jet
Jet
Force
Force
Studios.
Studios, baby, Jet Force Studios. Don't
Can't forget the
forget.
kid.
I'm be pulling up at Jet Force Studios for a fact.
JetForceStudios.com, baby. Go check it out.
Alright, closing thought.
Fun talk today. I love everybody's input and thought process on everything. It was good to hear that. But stuff that's coming for the future, like you said, get us at Jet Force Studios. I want to producers. You'll probably find me there. If you need photos, videos done, we got some more stuff coming away, like he said. We got you can do portraitures done and stuff like that.
What's the brand called?
Oh, Aperture NYC.
Can't forget that.
AP NYC.
Facts.
That's a photography company, videography company. We got some Design Works, which is a company coming out for design, and we had another Logo Works company coming out for logos and graphic designing, website designing, and all that, and a whole like brand structuring and stuff like that. So where you'll find us at Jet Force Studios. Hit me up, BZAIRE on Instagram, Za'Aire, and the brands they coming soon. Coming real soon.
I almost forgot, more Cowbells Films as well. So don't forget, you know what I'm saying, that's the other photographer, you know what I'm saying, we got us, we out here, we got the shooters on deck, so hit us up.
Alright. So we thank you all for joining us today. Shout out to my guests for popping up, and shout out to my co-hosts for always being here with us. Shout out to everybody that tuned in and press the subscribe button, press the like button, press the share button, show us some love, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. So we thank you for joining the Real Word. Thank you for joining the Real Word today, and we close out with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this moment in time. We thank you for this blessing. We thank you for giving us this platform to reach people and this ability to speak on this from different backgrounds and from different people, and just speak the knowledge and share the knowledge with the people. So we thank you for your many blessings. We thank you for everything you bestowed upon us. Amen. So shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to everybody that continues to subscribe, because without you it wouldn't be possible. And don't forget to support our up and coming turkey and coat drive. You could donate Cashapp.
When is it?
Hit the Cashapp. The Cashapp is $therealwordinc. That's $therealwordinc. I'll tell you exactly when the event is. It'll be November 20th, and that's a Saturday starting at 3 p.m.
November 20th.
So November 20th at 3 p.m. you can hit the Cashapp at $therealwordinc. That's $therealwordinc if you want to donate. So thank you and good night, guys.
It's the real word. It's the real